I wanna play every single game. These bright lights are making my heart race. Mind's been gone, lost out in deep space. Imagine that you're there, you find your way. Imagine that you're there, top of your trade. Can't hear the doubt today. I can't hear all of your hate. Ha! Paint that picture, dance if you want to. Sing in the shower, you have the power. I move fluid, I stay grooving. Feels even better when you have to prove it. With my women, I get choosy. Getting to the point, I pick and choose it. Each new drop, I improve it. That reminds me, y'all should go cue it. Thinking that life is an arcade. I wanna play every single game. These bright lights are making my heart race. Mind's been gone, lost out in deep space. Imagine that your fears were never there. Step into the room, forget you're scared. Can't hear the doubt today.
All right. Yo, welcome back. Authentic Vibes Only Podcast, episode 18. A very special guest with us today. My middle school principal, Mr. Brown. Now I guess it's okay to call him Jeff Brown for me. And then, we always have Jordan. Today's got a very good topic. Mr. Brown. I know it's weird calling him Jeff, so I'm just gonna keep calling him Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown had a huge influence on me in middle school and honestly even throughout high school and life in general. He has a saying that we're going to get into that's always stuck with me, and I feel like it ties really well into the brand and what we stand for here. So that's the main reason we want to have Mr. Brown on here, was to explain what his saying and what it means to him, how he interprets it, how Jordan interprets it, because Jordan has just become aware of it, and how that's impacted maybe some of the biggest impacts that's not on him, but just people Mr. Brown has spoken to, and what just those like couple words have meant to the people around him as well, besides just me. I know that they've impacted a lot of people in the community. I'm sure if we had them on here, they'd be able to tell you, but Mr. Brown, I'm sure has some stories on that, but let's go ahead and get into it with that. Jordan, I'll start with Jordan because he hasn't heard it either, but I sent it over. And the saying is, become the one you dream you can be. And Jordan, to you, what does that mean to you? How does that feel to you hearing it for the first time last night, today? And how do you feel like that I feel like it just ties into the brand. So tell me how you feel that would tie into the brand for you, or how you think that fits into what we're doing over here.
Yep, absolutely. So the whole thing for me is you kind of control your own destiny. We talked about this before. You have your book, right? And depending on what your viewpoints are, either you made that book with God, or you kind of just had that book from God before you actually started your life. But what the whole thing is, you kind of are able to control your different outcomes with whatever comes your way, to where if you're not where you want to be right now, you have the ability and the capability to push forward and get to the place you want to be, even if it's somewhere that you might think is inconceivable because you have such a long way to go to. So for me, it's just being able to know that you're in control of your life, because at the end of the day, I mean, all you have is yourself, right? If you're not willing to push yourself, if you're not willing to get to where you want to get to in life, no one's going to do it for you. So that's kind of what I got from it. And then for Authentic Vibes Only, it's the whole thing of, for me, the best way to get to that point is you just have to be yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, be truthful with yourself, and really just get to know who you are as a person. So then you can then portray that to society of like, hey, this is who I am, and I'm not afraid to be that person.
No, fully agreed. Mr. Brown, I'm going right to you. You got any words to speak off? Just maybe what Jordan said, but then you can just get into what you have dealt with and just how you really took that saying into yourself, and then how that went into your journey of your growth as a person, and then being a principal, and how that's had an influence on everyone you've ever been able to talk to.
Okay, thank you. You know what? I'm really thrilled to be on this podcast with you guys, because young people are having a difficult time today in this country and worldwide. they're trying to figure out who they are, what they represent, where they fit into the scheme of things. And I get that. When I was young, I've got a twin sister. We were adopted. My birth mother was 15. My birth father was 18. He wanted to marry her. Her parents said absolutely not. So he quit high school, joined the service. They put her in the Florence Crittenton Home for Unwed Mothers. She had twins, myself and my sister, my twin sister, put us up for adoption. And the family that adopted us were loving, were fantastic. I could never ask for a better father and mother. In fact, my mother, my twin sister, and I became very, very close. And when I was 20 years old in college, playing basketball, JV basketball for Illinois State, my twin sister was a cheerleader for Illinois State. I got a phone call on a Wednesday night. My mother had gotten cancer my senior year in high school. And 2 years later, she succumbed to the cancer. We get the phone call. My dad asked us to come back home with a suit and tie, and our mom wasn't going to make it through the night. So we get back home. We get to Northwest Memorial Hospital that night. We gave her last rites and held her hand. I hadn't seen her in 2 months because of basketball. And when I came in and grabbed her hand, her eyes fluttered. And by 6 o'clock in the morning, the doctor and nurses are running down the hall to us. We're thinking, she's passed, and all of her vital signs and everything else were back to normal. It was a thrill. We couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. There was nothing medically they could explain that caused her to actually come back to normal platelet counts, red and white blood cell counts, everything. They said it was only her strong will to live and belief in God. And got to come home. 5 months later, she succumbed. She passed away. And I had a very difficult time because we were so close. And I thought, if there's a God, why would he take a pure, beautiful woman like this, who's never cussed a day in her life, never, drank or anything else, whose sole purpose was to raise us kids the best way she knew how? And I couldn't understand it. And I was really angry with God. I was angry with life. I was trying to figure out who I was at that time because I felt lost without her. My dad and I did not have a close relationship at that time. And so one day down at school, I had hit rock bottom. I really had. Jeff Brown had done things he had never done before. I was in a totally self-destructive mode. And I went for a walk, and I went to the bookstore, and I found a plaque that said, "Become the one you dream you can be." I was an athlete. I'd always set goals. I'd always, I was a B student. But athletically, I always set goals. I wanted to become better. In fact, I wanted to become a college basketball coach. And so when I got that plaque, it turned my life around. I started focusing on my own goals, my own dreams. And I realized that for me to make it in life, it's going to be based on the choices I make. Not the choices anybody else makes for me, but the choices Jeff Brown makes for himself. And so I quit having a pity party for Jeff and took the bull by the horns. I took that plaque, spent $2 on it, put it on my bedroom wall, and it changed my life, that meaning, that because I set those goals, and I wanted my mother to, she's in heaven. I wanted her to be proud of me. I know she's looking down on us, everything else. So I graduated, went into teaching, coaching, and I took that saying with me. And if you ask any students if they remember anything about Mr. Brown, it would probably be, become the one you dream you can be. I want every single student, every single child, every single human being to realize that those dreams and those goals can be real, and they can be reached, they can be attained. And yeah, the most successful people in this world are the ones who have failed the most, but they pick themselves up, they dust themselves off, they continue to move forward and forward. They don't make excuses, they don't blame anybody else. They accept it, they learn from it, and they move forward. And that was the approach that I tried to take, as a principal with the middle school kids. And I would tell the parents, I am going to love your kids like they're my own, but I'm going to scold them like they're my own too. Kids need structure. They need discipline. They need to know, yes, you can, no, you can't. It's a safety mechanism for all human beings. So become the one you dream you can be is something that I've tried to spread to every school and every workshop, every motivational speech I've given, everything. Become the one you dream you can be is definitely the centerpiece.
Jordan, you want to go, or I got something to say if you don't?
You can go ahead since I'll let you speak for once.
I know you get. I always be talking too much. Yeah, like I said, Mr. Brown, that's an amazing story. I mean, it's been a while. I remember hearing that before, but sorry for the passing of your mother. But I think what's cool about what you said when it comes to become the one you dream you can be is like you always set goals in sports and stuff like that, and we don't on that level. I feel like you don't think about it when you're an athlete, but like you can take like that athletic mindset and put it into real life. So I think with like become the one you dream you can be and setting goals as an athlete, like that comes first for us. Like that's easy. Like I can become the athlete that I want to be just by working. But then when you're like not an athlete anymore, you don't think about that. Like the goal setting aspect and stuff kind of is like washed off. Like you're like kind of just in like a big lake and you're like wandering. But when you become the one you dream you can be and put that in life, I mean, yeah, it can be anything. Like you could have stuck with sports for one, if that's really the one you wanted to be, right? But then if you decide that that's not the route or it didn't work out for whatever reason, that happened for a reason that it didn't work out. So then you just got to take that, become the one you dream you can be, and push forward in whatever endeavor comes next, whatever job you're looking for. If you want to teach, if you want to teach, if you want to be a businessman, lawyer, whatever that is, run your own business, whatever that is, take that saying and set goals for yourself and keep pushing forward. Because it's definitely doable. I know me and Jordan have spoke about this, but in a different manner. We didn't use this saying or anything, but yeah, I think that's really cool. I don't know. I feel like for you didn't really take it like that at first either. Like you didn't think like, oh, I'm not an athlete anymore, or like you didn't bring it straight into athletics, but then you just you saw it after and you took it into life. So I think that's cool that those kind of cross platform there. So I like that.
The one thing that I have found and my experience, my professional experience as well, is a lot of athletes end up in leadership roles, and it's due to the fact that they're used to goal setting. They're used to setting goals and trying to achieve them, working hard, whether it's in the weight room, on the field, on the basketball court, whatever. And, become the one you dream you can be. Definitely applies to the athletes, but it applies to all of us. Excuses are useless. I am sick and tired of hearing excuses. And if someone really and truly wants to better their life, wants to become the one they dream they can be, then do it. Do whatever it takes to make it happen. You got to write it. Human beings learn through visualization and repetition. The more you see something, the more you hear it, the more you tend to internalize it, and then the more you tend to act it out. And so that's why I would have kids write their goals down, tape them in their lockers, and every day they open that locker door, they see those goals. And sure, they may change them weekly, and that's fine. But at least they're looking at a goal. They're looking at something that they want to achieve, And so through that visualization and repetition, I want them to start thinking about their future. Think about if you continue doing what you're doing right this very minute for the next 5 years, where do you see yourself? Do you need to make changes? Are you going to get to where you want to be in 5 years doing what you're doing now? And that's a question everybody has to ask themselves.
Jordan.
Yes. I was going to say, I kind of love where you brought it there, of the whole thing of the things that you're doing today are going to then come out in the future, of if those actions you're taking today are going to get to where you want to get to. And it just reminds me of the thing of, at the end of the day, it's not, you versus any other people. It's you versus yourself, right? So every single day, it's what am I doing today to get to where I want to get to be? And it doesn't have to be like some super high, crazy task. It can just be whatever monotonous task that it is, that, as you keep doing it over and over and over again, it will be compounded to then will elevate you to that next goal, that next task, which will then elevate you to that next task and that next task to where you will get to where you want to get to as like those little stepping stones, as opposed to you're looking at kind of a future that you have for yourself, but you have no idea where to even go. But the way to go is to just take that first step and start.
Yeah, absolutely. Fear is something that rages in all of us, and some people handle it better than others. A lot of times fear can be the motivation. In a lot of cases, fear can steal the dream. Fear can give someone so much apprehension, they're afraid to even start. And you have to be somewhat self-confident. You got to believe in yourself, and that's something. When you get up every morning, you go in the bathroom, you look in the mirror, what am I going to do today to make someone else's life better? What am I going to do today to reach, what step am I going to take to help me reach my goal? The one thing that I used to tell the kids at school, my own children, boys and so forth, is think about what it is you want to accomplish today. And that's something a lot of people don't think about. They get up, they're tired, they take their shower. Oh man, I gotta go to work, gotta go to school, gotta do this, But you know what? How many people look in the mirror when they're getting ready and say, you know what? I'm gonna make somebody else's life today happy. I'm gonna do something for somebody today that's gonna make their life, gonna make their day. And that's really a fantastic feeling when you see that smile from that person, or you get that pat on the back, or you get that, oh, thank you so much, Braeden. I really appreciate what you said or what you did or how you made me feel. Those are the types of things that we as a society have to really, group together, come together, band together, and collectively, we as a society can make these things happen, but we have to do it together in unity. Quit tearing each other down, quit calling each other names, quit bullying, Our politicians are the worst example for our young people to ever try to be like, to ever look, up to, in my opinion. I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat. And all I tell the kids is do the right thing. When you encounter a choice, make the right choice. And if you don't, if you're pressured into making a poor choice, learn from it, grow from it, don't do it again.
I think, there's a lot there. There's a lot there to decipher, but I think the coolest part about this is, and one of the, you're like bringing it all to light, Mr. Brown, is, like I said, become the one you dream you can be, and authentic vibes only, I think, just coincide very well. And you talked about confidence, and that's like one of the biggest things we preach on here is when you find your true authentic self, that has a lot to do with confidence and just being confident who you are, what you do, what you like, stuff like that, and not listen to others, or even if you're getting negative people and stuff like that. And then like once you said that, once that confidence comes and you have some self-confidence, then you can really think about becoming the one you dream you can be and taking those steps and being less fearful and being like sure in what you're doing, and just not being afraid of doing it, and being sure that you're taking that step. And then ultimately all that stuff leads into, like you said, that doing the right thing every day, and how you're going to better other people and treat other people's right. All that, what a lot of people don't understand is that it's like proven that the happier you are with yourself and self-confidence and self-love and stuff like that, the better you're going to treat people, the better you're going to feel, the happier you're going to be. So literally it takes steps, and we had like a step-by-step journey, like mini series in this about that kind of stuff. But that like is like this, a lot of those steps there. You start with self-confidence, you get less fearful, you're sure about what you're doing, you're becoming the one you dream you can be, and all in the while you're making yourself happy. But by doing that, you're just being a better person in general and spreading out that and those vibes out into the world. And that's exactly what we need more of, is that we need more true people, more good people, more people that care about others. But you can't, I think a lot of people get like misconstrued when it is caring about others and caring about yourself. There's like a big like I had a talk with a friend the other day. We talked about perspective, and we were talking about the word being self-centered. It seems like as like a negative word, and I actually had like a negative connotation to that. Like I feel like, but it's not. Like when we talked, it really changed my perspective on it. But self-centered is just caring for yourself and loving yourself. So there's like a fine line of doing that and like being narcissistic, but also like caring so much for yourself that you don't care for others too. So like when all this lines up, I feel like you're just happy with yourself. You care for yourself, but you're also, like you said, spreading that to other people, being the good person, making other people's day. Even the small things me and Jordan talk about, like holding the door for somebody, you know, like a small thing can literally just make someone's day. It doesn't matter what it is. The smallest thing, that person could have been having the worst day and you could have no idea. You just held the door for them and that literally just made them smile. You know, it can be the smallest things.
I'm glad you said that because you're absolutely right. Those little things you just do because that's who you are. And it feels so good when they turn and look and smile at you and say, thank you, young man, or whatever, you know, those are the interactions we need more of.
No, I fully agree. I don't know. It sucks. Like, I don't know what has changed in the last, since I honestly feel like I was in middle school, but like growing up, I don't know if it's just growing up and just being more aware of it, but I just feel like every year it just like gets worse and worse. There's just like less and less like I don't know if it's good or good people, I guess you want to call it, but it just sucks that that stuff is just not there anymore, and like just small acts of kindness and stuff people like don't care about or like don't do them, and just I think I don't know, I feel like maybe there's just that misconstruction that people like I said, you want to care about yourself, but then it's just like being too much in your head that you literally don't give a crap about the next person in the world. But that's not really how it should be. You know, we're all here. We're all one society. We should all be one unit. We're all one and the same. We're all people. So whatever you can do to just make someone's day, it doesn't really matter what it is. I feel like you should just be about it. It's just a moral thing, but I don't know.
You know, we live in the greatest country in the world, and we're destroying it ourselves, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if the people of this country came together as one and tried to create a better life for each other? Wouldn't that be more productive than what we're doing now? We're giving Ukraine billions of dollars. We've got homeless people on the street that could use some food, that could use some shelter. But we give $40 billion to Ukraine. We take care of everybody else before we take care of ourselves. But that's where we as a society, we need to get grouped together, and we can do it. We've got a great country. We've got great people in this country that believe in this country, and we can make it the very best that's ever been.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that stuff, you know, I just feel like there's just like people think there's not enough for everyone to eat too, you know, like everyone can eat. You can eat yourself, you know, if you understand what I'm saying, like everyone can eat. It's a more, I don't know, our age type thing, but everyone can have their own, you know, like everyone can have a piece of the pie. Everyone, like we can help ourselves while helping others, but like, you don't give all your energy away to others as well. You know, like you do it all. Like you take care of yourself, you take care of your own stuff first, and you help others. Same with the country. Like we should take care of ourselves. And if we're helping others, we obviously can take care of ourselves. So we should do both, you know, like help do what's possible, but also make sure if we're talking about a country standpoint, you do got to make sure that yourself is what you love most first. Like you're your person as a person, and we're talking about a person standpoint. First, you got to love yourself, be confident in yourself. Then that all comes out to helping others and spreading that to others as well.
Well, and the thing that distresses me the most, and this happened for decades and decades, the news loves to print the negative. Misery loves company. So people love to read that they've got it better than somebody else. You know, my life's not so bad. Look how bad so-and-so has it. You know, they read the paper, see all this negative stuff. I mean, very rarely do you ever see anything positive on the first 5 or 10 pages in a newspaper. if you even read a newspaper anymore, or go online and just follow the print online. You rarely see positive, news, and that's distressing too, because there's a lot of great things going on that people need to hear about, people need to see, and I think that would reinforce the notion of self-confidence in people too, when they see, well, wow, if they did it, I can do it. If so-and-so did it, I can do it. Gives you hope. When there's hope for the future, there's power in the present. Every day's not so bad if at the end of the day, you're going to be here. For instance, if you had a 10-acre plot of ground and there's $10 million buried somewhere on that 10-acre plot, the only catch is you have to dig 10 square yards every day until you find it. Now, you might find it the first week. You might find it a year from now, maybe 2 years from now while you're digging. You have to dig every day, rain, snow, or shine. But once you find it, you're going to be $10 million richer. So that's power in the present. When you've got that dangling out in the future, Norman Vincent Peale said, when you have faith in the future, there's power in the present. I said, when you have hope for the future, that $10 million, that's hope for people. And so, but faith I think is even a better saying, because when you have faith, anything is possible. Absolutely anything.
Jordan, you got
I was going to say, yeah. It all ties into what Braeden and I have talked about before, of how there's that higher energy that everyone's connected to. If you want to believe it or not, that's up to your discretion. But, just like those higher frequencies that are out there, that when you do start putting those good vibes out there, when you start, talking in the present tense or in the future, is like, for instance, you can say, oh, I have this job title, or I have this type of lifestyle, or I have this in my life or that in my life, even if it's not currently there. You putting that out there into the universe will then end up getting you that return on your investment later down the road. And it's a weird thing to even think about. I remember Braeden talking about this. What was this, like maybe 2 months ago or something, when you went down to, where was it? You went down and you said, oh, I want to win X amount of money at the casino.
The casino. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what'd you do? You won a whole bunch of money. And like just talking about it and being very specific about it, like, hey, I'm going here on this specific date. I have this amount of money. This is how much I want to win. And guess what? He did it. So it's like when you tap into that type of thing, you'll be so surprised on what you actually get back. It might not happen right away, but at least like at some point it'll come back to you.
That's excellent, Jordan. You're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head, buddy.
It's actually crazy because I feel like you said, this just goes a lot back to goal setting, and I have my list of goals. They sit right here. There's two papers. And I don't know. My first goal on page 1 is I don't know. I feel like I've reached that, but I don't want to say that I've fully reached it. But the first goal on there is just change the world and how people view it. And I think that goal came after we started the brand. We had just announced that we were starting it, but I feel like in such a little amount of time, we have had, we've had a lot of people have came up to me or came up to you or messaged us or reached out on everything and just said how much of a difference we're making. And I don't know, like, it's crazy that I had that goal written there, like fully not entailing what that is or any of that, and like what we've reached here. And even like, as soon as I brought Mr. Brown on here, I was like, I don't know. I feel like this episode was going to be something really special. So I feel like a lot of people are, for whatever reason, we're going to get a lot of views on this episode. And I just feel like this could honestly also be like where that really is a game changer and like changing the world and how people view it. But yeah, I don't know. That's,
it starts with each of us, because we have to reflect on who we are, what we've done, where we're heading, and be honest with ourselves in that. Self-reflection is probably one of the most significant areas for individual growth there is. To take the time, and what I do, I like to do that first thing in the morning. Take 5 minutes. I'm by myself, no one else around, and I think about and reflect on the week, and I think about what I'm going to do in the future, but I always reflect on things I could have changed, and had I changed, how things might have been different and so forth. But those are the types of things that help individuals grow. And meditation is a great way to decompress. You have a rough day, you come home. If you can develop a schedule, a routine. Routines are great, and where you take the time for yourself. And you're talking about authentic vibes only, fellas. I'm telling you, this is the way to get that started, and to find out who you truly are, what you represent. If someone asks you, "What's your philosophy of life?" What are you going to say? If someone asks you, what's your worth? Well, what have you done? Well, what are you doing? These are things that ask yourself, what am I doing? What have I done to contribute? What am I doing to help the situation? What am I doing to help myself grow, my family grow, my brothers and sisters, my girlfriend, my wife, whatever, my family? These are all things that all of us have to think about if we want to grow and become better and I don't know, more productive maybe. I just think that people don't take the time because we live in a society where it's so fast paced. We go from point A to point B to point C. We don't have time to take time. You need to take time for yourself. And that's so important.
Jordan and I have talked about all this stuff. I love it. See, this is exactly why I want to have you on. We've talked about self-evaluation being one of the most important parts of this journey and finding who you really want to be. We've talked about meditating, how a lot of times, even if it's not, if you've had a bad day or whatever, I think we tied it in with our like mental health episode, like mental health and stress and anxiety. But meditation, we talked a lot on that. And like you said, you just once you start the routine, it just becomes routine, like an hour a day. It doesn't even have to be an hour. We talked about, like, it could be like 20, 30 minutes, but you talk about like visualization. I don't know if you use the word manifesting, but that's what we talk about. We say manifesting a lot. Manifestation.
Same thing, you bet.
Yep. Manifesting and visualization and all that stuff is so important when it becomes just, being a better you and growth in a person. And honestly, like, I don't know, there's just something about it that, like, I don't know if it's science or whatever it is, but like when you do start to grow as a person, like just like it's those frequencies we talked about and higher energy and stuff like that. Like just good things start happening to you. You start becoming a better person, more people are better to you. You're better to more people. Like it's all like it all falls into place. Like everything just happens for a reason, but it starts being a better reason when you start to grow yourself and become a better person.
And don't get me wrong, as you succeed and become successful and you start reaching those goals and start setting more goals and start reaching them, you're going to have dream stealers out there. And they're going to say, who do you think you are? You're not so special. The dream stealers are the ones who have tried it. They failed. They make excuses. They blame everybody else. They blame the situation. They blame their parents. They blame the economy. They blame whatever they want to. They never take ownership. You have the winners, you have the losers, and you have the spectators. Spectators, we have to have spectators' life. Spectators are beautiful people. They're people, they go to work every day. They come home to their family. They put food on the table. They go on vacation. They do this, they do that. And they're totally content with that. You have the losers. The losers have tried things. They failed, so they give up. They start tearing everybody else down, try to pull you down because it's too hard to climb that ladder. They fail. They make excuses. And the winners are the ones who have failed the most, but guess what? They get up, they dust themselves off, they move forward, they continue to strive to reach those goals and those dreams. And, the dream stealers, don't let them get to you because they're out there. And trust me, they're the ones I love to prove wrong. You know what I mean?
Nah, I feel it. I'm not even going to lie. There's been the ups and downs of this. I've had those dream stealers. I've had a lot of those people out here ask me what I'm doing. They see me at JWs. You see me at JWs, but I tell everyone that comes in, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't like my main focus. I'm here right now because it's my main source of income that helps me build on my goal that I'm achieving, which is building this brand up, building the podcast, dropping clothes and stuff. But I've had tons of people just come in there and ask me, why would I do that? Or you're just doing this or this and that, you know? So I just, you know, I brushed it off. Like you said, I was at some point in the past that I really would take that kind of stuff to heart. But now I look at it as like, you know,
It's
it
your
is what it
motivation,
is.
right?
Yeah. It is what it is. And I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep hitting my goals. And then when that comes along, we'll I guess we'll see what you got to say, but it doesn't really matter because you weren't supporting from the beginning. So it's okay. Like whatever you got to say, then that's cool. And,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, and then I also, what you said about winners, you said they fail and get back up. I said this in a past episode, but winners win because they understand that failing is, there's like an acronym for it. Fail is just for your first attempt at first attempt in learning. So when you're a winner and you're that type of person, you understand that failing is not losing. You're just learning the lesson. And then you have that in your mind and you know exactly what to do for the next time. And then you just build from there.
What you guys have started, in my opinion, is phenomenal. And Braeden, this authentic vibes only is something that young people need to hear and need to understand. You know what I mean? I love the brand. I really and truly do. I think you guys are on the right track.
Thank you. For real. It means a lot. Like, I don't know, like it means a lot coming from you. Not just you. Like, I
mean it. I'm not just saying that. You know, I'm not patronizing you boys. I'm telling you young men, this is a phenomenal opportunity. And the title in and of itself is motivating to me. Authentic vibes only. Be yourself. Be who you want to be. Who do you want to be? That's the thing people have to define. You know, who are you? Who am I?
Yep.
And we're all different. And we're supposed to be different. That's cool. That's great.
Exactly.
We want that individuality. That's perfect.
Exactly. That's like the whole thing is like, you don't have to compare yourself to what you see on social media, right? It'd be like, oh, hey, this person, they have like 3% body fat. I need to be that or else I'm a loser or whatever. Like, that's not realistic. It's who are you? Whatever you want to look like, go ahead and look like that. You know, if you want to go do certain activities, go ahead and do it. Like no one's to judge you in society from doing what it is that you want to do if that's who you are as a person. And it's more so just comes down to the fact of you have to be accepting of yourself that, you know, that no matter what you do in life, there's always going to be people that are going to judge you for it. So why not just do things that you want to do and that are true to yourself?
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan.
I know. Yeah. And I never understood, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I got judged a lot. Like, people don't think that about me, and I don't want to make this just about me, but like being grown up, I got judged a lot for a lot of different things. Even now I do, but I don't understand. I've never understood it, especially now, because it's just like, yeah, everyone has weird quirks. Everyone has weird hobbies. We just don't see that publicly and shit, you know? Everyone has like the stuff they like Jordan said. And even to you, you know, it's not weird. I'm not going to say weird, but like, it's just whatever you like. As long as you're being like a good person, who cares what you like? Who cares what you do? You're not harming others. You're none of this. Like, you're just doing you. You're just whatever. You're living life and you're enjoying it and you're happy.
And you're comfortable in your own skin, you know, and that's so important. That it really is. You don't have to be the most beautiful woman, the most handsome man, or anything else. Be true to yourself, you know. Be, like you said, be you. Be you. And do things to make yourself proud of you and what you stand for. What is your legacy going to be? You know, that's the other thing I try to stress with people is when you pass, when you die, what are people going to say? Well, Braeden, I'll tell you what, he was a guy who would give you the shirt off his back. He always talked positive about everybody. He was a goal setter. He went after his dreams, and it was a great role model. You want that type of legacy. You want people to think that, you know, you really cared, not only about yourself, but about others too. And that's exactly what you guys are preaching on this podcast. And I love it. I think the value that you are bringing to the masses through this podcast is going to do nothing but help grow the human spirit for those who listen to it and watch.
I don't know. I'm like kind of speechless. I haven't had someone talk like that highly to us. So like I feel overwhelmed, but like great. Like that's literally the goal. Like we just, I don't know. Like, yeah, we want it to be like a fucking better world we're living in, and it just like, and be cool and just people to be fucking happy. I don't know.
You're doing the right thing. I'm telling you what, right now, boys, you guys have the guts to do this. And that impresses me too, because like you're putting yourself out on a limb right now. What you're doing right now. Yeah. You're putting yourself out there. That's awesome. It's awesome. You two are winners.
Thanks.
That's fantastic.
Try to be.
Yeah, I mean it. I'm very, very proud of you.
Don't count yourself out. You're on here. You were a winner before us. You're the bet. You're the bet winner. That's what.
I wish I was 30 years younger, guys. I join you on this podcast.
I mean, we can still have you on again. I'm down.
I definitely come back. I really and truly am, though. These are the types of podcasts that young people need to watch, need to hear, need to consume, and need to share with others. Again, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, we're doing our best, we're trying and we are trying to grow. It's actually, unfortunately, I don't know, like the numbers aren't fully there. Like they're not always there. They're not always not there.
It'll take time. It takes time. You got to build this. You got to build this brand.
We definitely been trying to. Yeah, exactly. We're just building from step one, and then with step one was just starting. But I just feel like what we talk about here is a lot different than what you normally would see on social media, or what is like a societal standard nowadays, or societal norm. We like kind of push those norms because like I feel like it's just not normal for this kind of talk, or this normal for people to act this way or whatever. And also, like you said, there's just, I don't know, I just don't feel like there's a lot out there on this, like a lot of the podcasts and stuff today, like people are just on there goofing off and doing whatever, or trying to do something to get fame, like some crazy thing or whatever. Which is cool. That's what they want to do. But like, that's what's most popular now. And I just feel like a lot of the stuff that is more informational and meaningful to people that like actually matters, it kind of gets pushed to the side, which is unfortunate. Not just what we're doing, but just in general. Like, I feel like all the stuff, like you said, with the news, putting out negative stuff, like you don't see the positive stuff on news or like even social media. Most of the time it's the negative stuff, or it's just like this random stuff that like someone's doing some crazy, like, I don't know, prank or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not all out there. It's not all put out there.
So, and you know what? With COVID for the last 2 years, that hasn't helped things. Kids have been isolated. They've not been able to socialize, and shame on the government, shame on the CDC and so forth for manipulating that. But now we got to get that back. We got to get these kids back. We got to get them socializing. We got to get them believing that they can accomplish these goals that they had set before. A lot of people are lost. Right now, you've got a fragment of society, of our teens especially, who are going through some social emotional issues because of the isolation. So these types of podcasts are going to be fantastic for helping people come out of that depression, that anxiety, that whatever they're feeling, because trust me, the statistics are not good when it comes to the teenagers. Basically, I think it's 11 through
17,
30 with mental health right now. A lot of loneliness,
Yeah, when we did our mental health episode, we looked into those numbers, and like one of the highest percentages of like where it's worse was like teenage, like middle school. It was 11 to 17, teenage and high school students. So that was like one of the biggest percentages on there, which is crazy. Like you're so young too. Like you're literally so young. Like you don't really even understand the world exactly, or like you don't. Like even right now, I'm 24. There's still so much to learn, but like I know a lot more now than I did then. So like it's crazy that that's how it is.
Exactly. But it is, and we have to face it and realize it. and try to promote more of these types of, opportunities for people to listen to and to watch, be a part of.
All right. Yeah. We're gonna leave it there. We might go number 2. Jordan, any final words to go over? Anything that that maybe stuck out to you? Any final words on that, or maybe you got a quote of the day for us? I don't know.
I can pull a quote of the day out of my brain if you want that one.
It's up to you. Go for it. If you got one.
All right, dude. Okay. I might butcher it. I don't remember it verbatim, but it's something along the lines of, on your tombstone, you have that first date when you're born. You have the end date when you're gone. And in the middle is what you do with your life. So what do you want to be known for? And how do you want to impact the world for the better?
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah. Perfect way. Perfect ending. Mr. Brown, I appreciate you coming on. I'm definitely down to have you back on. We'll stay in touch. I see you know, but I have your number, so I'll text you, or if I don't see you in person, and then we'll have you back on probably next couple months. And Jordan, always a pleasure having you. Thanks guys for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Free falling like I'm skydiving, teacher and student, 2 worlds colliding. I love music, I don't abuse it. Take your crafts and you infuse them. Say you're normal, that's kinda weird. In deep thought, stroking my beard. Head of the table, saying my cheers. Ended up grateful for all the tears. Ready to grind for years. Been loving what's in the mirror. Ready to grind for years. Been loving what's in